Hello, my name is Chris Roberts. I'm a class action attorney in St. Louis, Missouri. Today I want to talk about something that I know has been racking your brains and that you can't stop thinking about. And that is, do Subway sandwiches, the tuna sandwiches, actually not contain tuna? So why are we talking about this today? The reason we're talking about this is there was recently a class action lawsuit filed against Subway alleging that the tuna fish sandwich that Subway has sold for years does in fact not contain any tuna. The lawsuit says that they have tested the sandwiches, multiple sandwiches actually, and that the test showed that there was no tuna in those sandwiches. Subway has had a pretty interesting response to this. The first part's not so interesting. Of course, they say that's not true. But the second response to the lawsuit is they actually offered a discount for the tuna fish sandwiches. And if you purchase one online, the code is "It's Real." It's a pretty creative marketing strategy by Subway. But I want to talk a little bit about this case in the context of what I think about it as a class action. So let's talk about what the lawsuit alleges. The lawsuit alleges that Subway has sold hundreds of thousands of these tuna fish sandwiches to consumers around the country. They're marketed as tuna fish sandwiches, but they don't in fact contain tuna. Let's assume, just for the sake of discussion, that is true. So from a class action perspective, this lawsuit seeks to basically provide recourse for everyone that's purchased one of these sandwiches believing that it was a tuna fish sandwich and it really wasn't. So a couple things that people would ask me in a case like this is, one, how have these people been damaged? And there's two big ideas about how they've been damaged. One is that the consumer would not have purchased the sandwich, a tuna fish sandwich, had they known that there was actually no tuna in it. The second theory is that because Subway has marketed this as a tuna fish sandwich, that essentially they can charge a premium for that sandwich, and that the consumer has been damaged in terms of the difference between the amount of that premium and the amount that the sandwich should have actually been sold for as not containing any tuna fish. So that's how the consumers have been damaged. Now, people always think that these types of cases are funny and they show how ridiculous class actions can be, but I have somewhat of a different perspective. People tend to think that these lawsuits are humorous or they don't have merit, usually in the context of when you see food or drink cases. But let's assume for the sake of discussion that this is actually true, that the sandwiches don't contain tuna, and I don't know one way or another. But take it outside of the context of a sandwich. If you purchased any product, let's say it was a designer good, a Rolex, a nice car, whatever it might be, and the product was not what it was purported to be when you purchased it, you might be particularly upset. And the same concept applies here. If somebody's purchasing, for example, a sandwich in this case, and they think it's a tuna fish sandwich, then the consumer arguably has been deceived because the business has misrepresented to them exactly what they are selling to them and what they are purchasing. So it'll be interesting to see how this case plays out. This case is pending in the District Court of California, the federal court. It's in its infancy, so there's a long ways to go. But if you have any questions about the case, you want to give me your thoughts, you have any thoughts about class actions in general, feel free to give me a call. I always look forward to talking to people and answering questions. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.